If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass when he hopped. I'm telling you, Johnny's little girl was running. I'm telling you, I don't know about that boy in there. I believe he had his own experience. I tell you, old Melvin did it when he got big. He was going to haul ass and take a good trip. That boy ain't got the sense of God to give a Billy goat. Clean your mama cook. Clean like a shit through a screen door. Damn, please cook. Your mama left. Hell, she can't drive at night. She's blind at her fast. Yeah, I saw the bucket across the road. She's flashing in the street. I don't know what the hell's wrong with that lawnmower. Leaks done shit out of the wall. See that new boy Alabama guy? Come on, fast. You leave them boys like they tied or something. Jerry, when's the last time you cried some troll moves? Got how the giraffe's ass down that one. Go in there and look at this monster. They don't get it, won't push it to bed. I know I'm talking to the plate possum for a minute. I got that boy down the road going to try to help me fix that damn lawnmower. The boy's nuttier than a squirrel. Hell, he's wide open. God, that boy couldn't catch a cold butt naked to last. Cool. Over the well-digger's ass out of over there. I won't tell you that boy in there about as bright as a haunted apple. Oh, you see that kid? That boy didn't know whether to shit or whine or walk. I'll go in there and mama's mad as a hornet. Come on, get out this rain. Hurry up now, shook a bell. That teacher called today, said Billy wasn't doing that good math. Told her I wouldn't expect much more. That boy's about as sharp as a bowling ball. I just got back from down there to Walmart. Had to return that WD-40. That manager down there ain't got walking around. God almighty, I'm so surprised. You seen that new girl Jerry's with? Looked like she could rode hard for a wet. Now, these instructions about as useless as tips on a bowling hole. You see Bonnie down there this morning? Got that shit shut up in her lip. She got a set of soup coolers on her now. You see that girl's feet down there behind us in the floor? She's going through a change of opinions. I don't know what I said wrong with your mama. She's still mad as a wedding. That Jerry said it's about as tough as what they do. Tell Jerry I got started on that liquor. Got to get tore out the front. Act like you got some sense on the center. No. Had to help that boy move that table. Somebody's as weak as a brick wall. Hell, son, come on. You slowly crushed it. He said, what? Oh, hell, he took a picture of me. Well, it's going to be a hard freeze tonight. That road's going to be slicker now, shit. You see that girl down there at the Piggly Wiggly? She had an ass 2 handles wide.
Hell, I don't know how Mary Alice is going to talk about somebody's house. She ain't got a pot to piss in or anything to throw it out of.
Oh, buddy, I'm buying a straw hair split 4 weeks. That girl ought to be ashamed wearing something like that to church. Pants were so tight she could fall and blow her boots.
This graffiti was sprayed on a synagogue in Seattle, and it represents a classic propaganda technique called transfer, which uses positive or negative feelings about one thing and tries to transfer those feelings to another. In this case, spraying this message on the synagogue is trying to transfer feelings about
Hell, I was hitting that boy so fast he was hollering, y'all stop. He said he was going to move. Hell, that boy's off his elevator. You better run, son. I'm going to hit you with so many rights you're going to be begging for a lift. Fred said that? That's some bitch couldn't whoop me if I was on life support. Yeah, you put a big checkers on the leopard's ass. Who said that? Billy? Hell, he stays talking shit. That some bitch has got $2 hands and a $50 mouth. Yeah, you ain't got to worry about Billy whooping me. Some bitch is soft as a 2-minute egg. He said, what? Oh, hell, he took a picture of me. I can go on and tell you, whooping me is going to be about as easy as nailing Jello to a tree. I bowed up at that boy and he went to shaking like a dog shitting a pizza pit. All right, now, y'all keep on. I'm going to tear your asses up like wrapping paper on Christmas morning. I found it. He said, what? Oh, hell, he took one. can go and tell you, whooping me is going to be about as easy as nailing jello to a tree. I bowed up at that boy and he went to shaking like a dog shitting a pizza pit. All right, now, y'all keep on. I'm going to tear your asses up like wrapping paper on Christmas morning. That sumbitch is scared to death. Hell, he's going to be melted down and poured into a damn fight. I'm going to tell you, if you dream about messing with me, you better wake up and apologize. All right, son, you'd rather poke a line in the ass in a pair of pork chop panties than come over here messing with me.
No, hell no, I'm gonna stomp a mud hole in his ass trying to spit out my deer meat.
Well, come on over here, son. I'll hit you on top of the head and break both your ankles. Happy Easter, y'all.
Shut up. Don't you tell I got a hangover? Tell you what, Danny, you don't worry about where Jim was at church this morning. Where's Daryl? You can't get his ass out till Monday, can you? Ain't no sense in crying. You should have knew. I've been telling you to try Jesus before you try me. Speaking of Jesus, him and Daryl locked up about the same amount of time, ain't they? 3 days?
Come here. You talking to that boy, Billy? I believe that some bitch can hide his own dreams.
Oh, no, y'all go. Oh, shit, I told y'all not to give me them deviled eggs. Hey, baby, Papa's about to call now. You go. Go light up her eggs.
When you're more, get set, go. Who that boy's fast as grease lightning?
Hey, Pastor. How you doing? Yeah. Y'all see Chrissy showed up with them shiners I give her? Yeah. I beat her like she stole some. Come here, baby. What's wrong, now? Show ain't deep. Tell her which one of these little bitches hit you.
Where's Dog the Biscuit Hunter go?
Hey, really soon.
Oh, shit.
I've never been one to back down from a challenge. Right now, I see big...
Ooh, man, here now. Was a perfectly good pair of tennis shoes, paint power line, and nice fellas asked me to shoot guys for a little while. Shirley took that green bean casserole in the house, got your trampoline. You ain't got no swimming pool. What did you say your name was? No. I met your cousin Malcolm in there. I went to shake his hand and somebody snapped my shoulder out of socket.
Shit, oh, you just got the door, man. A couple of stores.
I know one thing. I got somebody as strong as a garlic milkshake.
Get out. Man, get your ass up, man. What's wrong with you taking your damn car up?
Anyway, y'all can that didn't just happen. Don't like it.
Say green bean casserole.
Sound like it's country music.
No, did I say fucking country? That's
Well, I tell you what, if you not know what to be a cowboy, you should call me a horse. You know? Wait a minute, names and names. Hell, about the same thing. The hell out of that poor girl.
just bite of that.
You made these? Like that. So sweet.
Yes.
He likes it too. No way around the dance floor, don't you? No, I'm saying she's got like a shoe. I go, where? You running from? Green bean casserole will be good 2 or 3 days now. All right, hey, now I remember.
I guess I'm gonna go outside and smoke since you're gonna let me smoke in the house. It's like you forgot where you come from. Me and Mama used to pass a cigarette back and forth while we was feeding you.
Yeah, go on out there and get you another one. Your damn voice already sounds like a dog with heartworm.
If I hear y'all jump on that couch one more time, I'm gonna knock you for a flip. You better get your ass out of the yard. I'm tired of listening to it.
Lord, leave them damn youngins alone. Hell, you worry the horns off a billy goat. Come here, baby. Hey, y'all go on outside for a little bit, and then Papa will take y'all for some ice cream. Hey, don't pay. Hell, I know she's scared. Shit, you make her statue, please. Look at her. Don't pay her no attention.
See, that's why you was always Mama's favorite, because you damn kiss ass. That's all you do is kiss ass.
No, I was Mama's favorite because you were so damn ugly she couldn't stand to look at you. That's why she used to have to breastfeed you with a straw. Yeah, look at you now. You look like Dog the Biscuit Hunter. Looking like Josephine Dirt. Well, I don't know what you're looking all sour over for. You ain't gonna do it yet. Shirley, get her going.
Come here, you bitch.
At Chewy, it's easy to cook food they love to chomp. With the science-led nutrition you trust. Chewy, for the food they dig into, for fast shipping, for life with pets.
This fucker's gonna take all day.
Ooh, Joey, I'll sit outside with you today. It ain't that hot. God, you act like the brokest sucker alive. You can't afford to get a new chair outside?
No, because I'm gonna get my money worth out of this.
I believe you done got it. Look at this shit here. Look at it.
I
I
know.
feel like I'm on a damn rocking horse.
Well, here's Rocky set to sleep.
It's all your damn car all dented up. What in the hell you done hit?
Damn dog ran into the side of my car.
A dog run into your car.
Yeah.
I bet it did.
Yeah, he did, damn.
Run into the side of your car. You going 60 miles, the fastest dog in the world.
I run wide open and just run right in the side of my
So
car.
what'd you do to us? I saw you knew who you was. He was pissed off at you. That boy called me and said he's gonna be done with my boat. You want to go fishing? You gonna split the crickets with me? I mean, 'cause they want that bait shop down there. They want $10 for 200 crickets. I went in there last year. I went in by myself, and every bull bear I caught was that long, man.
You full of shit. You ain't caught a brown.
I know damn well I did. I broke 2 or 3 brim busters in there.
Well, that Brimbuster wasn't no damn good.
Be a rotten brim busters in my ass. I'll show you how to fish. I'm gonna be up here to get you in the morning.
Well, you be on. I'll be ready.
Now, hell, Cockroach told me he fixed that damn spaceship. What the hell they still doing here? Where's Dolores? Hell, she's on house arrest. She couldn't have went too damn far. I'll be damned. Dolores, where in the hell you been? I know you ain't been caught in that little green alien all over town kicking his pecker around everywhere you go.
We're going to the casino. That something she's got X-ray vision.
Well, how in the hell did you sneak a damn green alien into the casino?
See, that wasn't no problem. Go and show, Squeeble.
God almighty. That some bitch turned into a damn dog.
Shit, that ain't all. Watch what else this some bitch can do. One more time.
Ooh, shit. That some bitch turned into Brad Pitt.
Oh, Squeeble. Shit, I told you not to do that one. You'll be messing with me.
Tell you what, you walking around with a damn alien just as believable as you walking around with his damn eye fell out.
Yeah, we still working on that. Get the son of a bitch up.
Well, hell, the damn dog ate him. He needs to get his ass on out of here. You ain't got no business hanging around with a damn alien.
Son of a bitch. I was fixing to take you to the Hard Rock. Fine. All right, come on, Squeeble.
Dolores, where the hell you think you going?
Y'all kiss my ass. Say it, dog, here I come. All right, show me how to drive this subject.
That some bitch don't know what he's got himself into. That's gonna be the first intergalactic restraining order. Now, your mama's been laid up to bed all day. She can't barely get around. That psychotic nerve bothering her. Yeah, I was standing there and that buck eased out in the road, and I'm telling you, he was a monster. Anyways, I cut it to him, man, so let's cut a flip. Ah, that some bitch got hung in my sarcophagus. Oh, I remember this one. It's an old movie. That's old Alligator Kabumbi. Here, come look at this. That boy about stepped right on that chopper mouth. Ooh, mercy. That lightning's a-popping out there. You know, before you know it, it'll be time for Christmas. Santa Claus will be coming down that chimney. Oh, no, yeah, we got some club openings. Yeah, oh, no, hell, we hunt them all. We hunt deer and turkey and rabbits and just a leg. No, I ain't been on with that one airplane. I was working out of town, and my sister got sick, had to come home. We flew out of Massachusetts up there. Hell, I barely bumped that damn trash can with that truck, and I reckon that damn bumper's made out of plastic. No, Justin, it's sad. She'll walk in the door to her mama's house, and her mama won't even know who she is. You know, she's got that Alzheimer's. What in the world? What's all that commotion? Well, I'll be damned. I knew it. Shirley, I've been knowing it for years. They're here. Don't wake up Dolores and tell her to come out here and see his shit. Hell, that's about $1,500 worth of damage you done caused to my fence. Oh, so y'all don't wear clothes, huh? All right.
The hell you got Shirley get me out here this... Holy shit.
It's good you crashed where you did. That boy next door, he don't talk a whole lot. He kind of just barks. But hell, he can fix anything. He'll be up and running in a few minutes.
What the hell happened? You can't drive that son of a bitch. I would too. I know it. Shit, that's how I got that little bad boy right there.
Hell, y'all couldn't have landed 100 yards left and took care of that aggravating ass dog that barks all night. Hell no, you ain't. Not to me. There's a fella down the street likes that sort of thing. I mean, he can go with you. Hell, you might have a hard time bringing him back.
Yeah, I would go with you, but You know, that's what we call house arrest. Mr. Jim, he ain't got shit on y'all.
All right now, little green fella, you got two options. You can either fix my fence, or my sister can make you wish you would have fixed my fence.
See, he's right about that. You go fix my brother's fence, or I'm gonna bust your little green ass wide open. Shit, I make green beans out of you. The youngest won't even know no different. Their taste ain't been the same since they had the corona.
All right now, it's the right choice. Go and get it fixed. Like I said, he'll take care of you and have you up and running in a few minutes. Y'all gonna watch that game tonight? Y'all watch baseball down there on Xandar? Well, maybe you can pitch you a flat screen of that spaceship. That's a pretty big sumbitch. Sure. You see the pecker on that sumbitch? Hell, I must be part alien. I called Jerry and asked him was he going to his new girl for Mother's Day. He said she ain't got no kids. Hell, that ain't surprised me. That girl can trick or treat over the phone. Hey, boy, you need to go on up there and get you something to eat. You're as thin as a gnat's whisper. Oh, hell, son, you better get your mama's best frying pan and mess with me. Come on over here. I'll fold you up like a fourth-grade love letter. I'm telling you now, when your mama was young, she was wild. That thing go crazy like a brick in a dryer. I'm telling you what, son, you ain't Gladys. She's mean as a snake. That girl's going to look up and see hell. God almighty. That boy couldn't even help me. I had to bring that cooler all the way over here by myself. That sumbitch as weak as a fly fart. I can't believe Billy's done started going with that bell machine. That girl's been rode more in a saddle at the rodeo. Hell, them boys just talking shit. They ain't gonna do nothing. You see them? That one boy's scared to death, and the other one's glad of it. Oh, that was a good flip, boy. That was a good flip. Oh, God. Get out of my way now. I'm about to shit like a crippled coon.
How can I be homophobic? I blew his fucking brains out. This Luger will send a Christian to hell. Shorty looked so good, I used her piss as crab boil. Nutted so crazy, I got 108-degree fever. Smoking on Congolese dickweed, looking for a signal. I went dark a long time ago. Packed her asshole so tight, she pushed out a pearl. The fentanyl got me moving like a claymation figure. Real premium French Scatitude. Money longer than Katie's feet. Started off shooting dice in the cum slum. Learned how to load the 9mm cannon and changed the trajectory of everything. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. I fuck like it's for survival. As if it's the last sip of water I'll ever get. Ribs visible, eyes bloodshot, thrusting away. Got my cob looking like Mexican street corn. I'm so violent and sick in the head, I can't tell if I want to kill my ops or fuck them. Zaza got me feeling like everything gonna be alright. Got the registered God particle on my hip, ready to have some hickory smoked off. Wiped the nut on my Amiri jeans and got right back to fucking work, sipping on McDonald's house red. AK sing like a castrati. I have no morals or belief system. I have no spirituality or anything that gives my life meaning or structure. They ask me to shoot, I do it. I have no character. Homegirl got a nice little turd cutter on her, put a bag over his head and sent him to paradise. The San Francisco got me looking and moving like Mr. Bean. I ain't saying shit. Got a ruptured eardrum from having my ear to the streets for so fucking long. On a full moon, I'll fuck anything. I'm smoking on that Sumerian Quasimodo carpet bomber. Obsequious demon whisper runs. Pussy boy wanted beef with me over galactic acquisition. Called his mistress over and put 10 inches on her forehead like Peyton Manning. I'm a street creature. The weed will have you in purgatory screaming for eternity. You will relive every key mistake you've ever made in your life, over and over and over again. I was in the Maybach, gripping the stem, snipped the banjo string, roamed around northern Cambodia with an open incision. They told me I wouldn't shake the city, so I shook that shit like a crying toddler. Hit the gelato papaya, took a sip of the Jose. Everything turned red for 8 minutes. Woke up in Geneva. Oh man, I did it again. Destroyed his bando with a solar flare. I'm in the club listening to the brown note. My dogs will do anything for a Newport, and I mean anything. They think I'm homosexual the way I'm chasing the sack. Whippets left me with a drool and a shit-eating grin. My bitch looked like Timothy Chalamet. I'm a product of the gutter. I fried up some corn snake for the cuzzos. The Zaza got me talking like Pingu. I'm the real Goliath grouper. I'ma need you to suck the pigmentation out of this one, young blood. Shorty ass so fat I thought I was balls deep in Kyle Lowry. I only handed back the free world because I was bored. This blunt is overwhelmingly large. This blunt has a pulse. This blunt looks like Ray J's dick. This blunt got veins pumping through it. This blunt curved right at the tip. This blunt looks like it's been pushed out. This blunt has a family somewhere worried as hell. I ain't even gonna hide it no more. This blunt feels like a solid fibrous piece of shit. Straight up. A big meaty piece of shit. Balanced diets. Lots of fruit and vegetables. Would honestly float in the water, which is a sign of good health. Husky little fella. The Zaza got me connecting the dots. There are bugs under my skin. I need to dig them out with a screwdriver. She broke my heart, had me shadowboxing behind the 7-Eleven in my 2005 Cleveland LeBron jersey, Zara jeans, and some LRG shoes. Windows tinted, listening to T Grizzly, smoking on a goon rock. The bugs are back. I'm smoking on pussy slaw. The worms in my head won't shut the hell up. They're telling me to go absolutely fucking stupid on them. I don't even need to brandish the knife. I'm pissing and drooling all over myself, howling and itching to take lives. Shit, I'm so excited to take lives. I'm literally covered in caca, shitty boy Michi. I can't even take care of myself when I think about this shit. Smoking a real nuclear shit submarine. I got this shit figured out. Smoked a 7-gram backwood of Shadow Whisperer. Shit had me fucked up in the crib, looking up pictures of dogs with human eyes. I got interdimensional demons dropping the pin as we speak. They'll take anyone back over there. Unholy doses of
Grooms loads a complete serving of fruits, veggies, adaptogens, vitamins, minerals, super mushrooms, prebiotics, and antioxidants, like organic kale, spirulina.
I called Jerry and asked him was he going to his new girl for Mother's Day and said she ain't got no kids. Hell, that ain't surprised me. That girl can trick or treat over the phone. Hey, boy, you need to go on up there and get you something to eat. You're as thin as a gnat's whisker.
Papa, are you sleeping?
Oh, no, baby, I wasn't sleeping. I was just resting my eyes. Come here, boy. You must want your butt whooped. You hear what I was saying out there? Was you listening? All right, now, give me 5. You gonna be a good boy? You want your butterscotch? Come here, boy. Come here. Hey, I need you to do something for Papa. Run out of my truck, get my tobacco. I'm gonna see how fast y'all. Go ahead, I'm gonna time you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, boy. I'm gonna give you a knuckle sandwich. Come on. 8, 9, 10. Ooh, thank you, boy. Thank you. You fast. Ooh, not a blink, not a miss. Give me that. Ooh, I got that nose. I got that nose. Boy, you ever seen a horse bite an apple? Huh? Give me 5. 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 All right. Hey, don't tell your mama I'll give you a candy now, all right? All right, go. Oh, you're getting too strong for me now. You're getting pretty hurting, Papa, now. Here, show me a muscle. Show me a muscle. Ooh, you got a softball in there? You've been drinking your milk. You can tell it, boy. You're strong. I got you now. I got you. I got you now. What you been doing? Come on, shake Papa's hand. Oh God, let me go. Ooh, strong, ain't you? No, no, I didn't do it. Hell, I was just tickling him. Boy, you better quit that crying, Lord.
I got that over quiz. Yeah, hold on.
Got a whole fridge full of pops.
That's good.
Welcome to the X-File podcast.
Yeah. Where you been?
Where as good as you can do as a podcast.
Hey.
We have the Legend of Mobile. The Legend of Mobile.
The Mobile Madman.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they call it after today. Justin Wagner, everybody, please make sure.
Justin! Thanks, guy. You sound like you were going to say something.
Yeah, what did you say his name was? Justin. Justin was Southern Grandpa. We've had all the Southern.
Stag.
Yeah, Stag. Oh, did I say Wagner?
Yes, just
Why did I say
Whack.
How about, you know what I'm about to lose? I'm about to lose the hosting job.
Well,
I'm about to lose.
I like how Justin was polite enough to just go.
My name gets butchered so many times.
I mean, I was going
I
to
just
direct
get
him.
break.
Just let it sit in it a while.
Let him drag that fishing line across the water.
We're going to change his diaper, but he's going to learn not to do it. He's going to sit in it a while.
Good to have you in here, dude. Me and Cassio got to do a show with you recently.
Yeah, that was great.
10 minutes of just roaring laughter.
Yeah, let's get into that in just a second. For those that don't know him, we need to set up the timeline for what he's about, and then now you're venturing out into the stand-up world. So this is fun stuff.
Yeah, give us your origin story.
Yeah, what's your Marvel origin story?
My Marvel origin story, Southern Grandpa coming in, he's the new Avenger. I put up a video of my wife probably like a year ago, and I was making fun of her because when she talks, it sounds like a turnip green talking. Like, that's what it sounds like. So she sounds just like cornbread. And I was making fun of her for saying something like, quit hogging all that. So I'm hogging it? Is that what I'm doing? I'm hogging it? I'm just filming her. And they got like 25,000 views. I was like, oh, if they think she's funny, I'm way funnier than her. And I've been making fun of my grandpa my whole life. He never means to be funny. He just is. Just everything he says is hilarious. So I did an impression of him, and it just went nuts. And here we are at like part 40, and all these other characters, and 1.5 million followers.
And what were you doing though? What was your day job then? What before you were social media
still my
star?
day job for the time being. I'm steel mill worker. Steel mill worker. Been there 12 years.
There's nothing funny about that.
Not at all.
That sounds
You get some
not.
good content out there though.
Sure.
So, how are they reacting when you start popping off on social media? They
Well,
gotta be busting your balls.
Some of them are, and then a lot of them are like, dude, we knew it. I mean, just why have you done this?
What's your grandpa think about it, by the way?
Oh, he loves it. I'll go out there and he'll be like, I'll
You
put
can't tell him shit.
I'll put him in a video every now and then, like of us bullshit with each other, and I'll come out there like a few days later, and he'll call me and say, Justin, you know we had 2 million views on that video?
Oh, he's watching it.
Oh, he's pumped about it. You see that fella commented to say that you ain't real? I want to bust his ass.
Don't think he's not going to start asking for that ad revenue. That's probably right around the corner. I expect kind of a big dip this year.
Yeah, next time we talk to Justin, he's gonna be like, well, me and my grandfather don't talk. We fought over royalties. It was real bad.
All he wants is gambling money.
This
Is he a gambler?
Man.
Biloxi, is that where you're at?
Biloxi, about once a week.
What game is his weakness?
Just craps. That's all he plays.
Nice.
Really?
That's the only thing he'll play. Crap.
I'll tell you, man, if you get on the table on craps, you can be there for hours, dude.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I learned my lesson to not ride with him.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Hey, do any of y'all play craps?
Yeah, I have.
Never?
Never. Terry, have you ever been to a casino?
Oh, yeah.
What, have you ever played?
Blackjack every now and then. That was a long time ago.
Man, when
I like to save my money.
Now, when craps is cold, you run across the cold table, you'll be there like 30 seconds. And you're like, nah, this ain't it, man. It's the one casino game where I do think there is a
You gotta ride the wave.
Oh yeah. When it's high, they're having a blast.
It's the best thing in the casino when it's riding the high. When people start just winning and everybody,
Because everybody at the tables, people crowd around and scream.
yeah, because if you're rolling the dice, you can win money for all of us. And so then when you start on a heater and somebody's just rolling, you're like, well, we're best friends now. We won $30 together, you know.
What's crazy is if you're the guy that has that good roll and then you 7 out, those are people that were your friends 5 seconds ago.
It depends on how much money you win them. If you get on a good roll, they're like, all right, that's fine. They're like, it's good. We'll get back around. We got tables hot now. Let's go. Pick it up. You go and you crap out at the beginning. Everybody's like, no, we're dead.
Yeah, we hate you.
We're dead. We got to get out of here. It's a wild game. It's why they're so excited, because when it's hot, it is. It gets real hot, and it's the most fun there is.
The hypocrisy of casinos drives me crazy.
Hypocrisy.
Dude, that word. Like, we played casinos, a ton of them, and they have all these rules, like no cursing on stage. Now, look, you can take out a third, fourth mortgage on your house to come in here and gamble it away, but you're not allowed.
Pump in fresh oxygen. See them.
No cursing, and they're like, no drinking on stage. A lot of them do, too. They're like, no drinking.
We think some of the details that make Thursday Boots most special are the ones that you can't see. Everyone, on Connor.
Early in 1945, our B-29s began full-scale operations against Japan. 1,500 miles to targets, and 1,500 miles back from bases at Saipan, Tinian, and Guam.
Hi, I'm Paul Carter. Thank you for joining me from Thailand. The story I will tell you today is of the U.S. Army Air Force incendiary campaign, bombing campaign against Japan during the final 6 months of World War II. What the campaign was, why it was undertaken, its purpose, why it was flown at low altitude and mainly at night, how it was executed, and the results. 100% of the film and almost all the photographs are original. As the Japanese fighter threat diminished the last few months of the war, when the B-29 bombers finished their bombing runs over Japan and turned south towards the Marianas, the U.S. B-51 fighter escorts stayed on station and began strafing missions. This video is longer than most of my videos because I have populated it with amazing aerial and other combat footage and audio to help tell the story. It was during this period the Americans built and deployed a next-generation bomber that allowed this feat, the B-29 Superfortress.
This is the B-29. It's the biggest, fastest, mightiest heavy bomber in the world. It can travel farther and higher than anything else on wings. It has a pressurized cabin, permitting high-altitude flight without oxygen masks. It has 5 remotely controlled, electrically driven turrets, each carrying twin 50s, with a 20-millimeter cannon added to the turret in the tail. Bombardier, who sits directly ahead of the pilot and co-pilot. Navigator, who is some distance behind the pilot, facing forward. Flight engineer, who is directly behind the co-pilot, facing aft. Radio operator, who sits across from the navigator and faces the right wall. Gun commander, who is in the top of the fuselage amidships and can face in any direction. Left gunner, who faces aft. Right gunner, who also faces aft. And the tail gunner, who stays close to the putt-putt during takeoff and landing. His combat position, of course, is in the tail. That turret you see moving is only one of the 5 on the ship, which mounts a total of 10 machine guns and 1 cannon. 4 of the turrets, 2 on top and 2 beneath the fuselage, can turn through 360 degrees in azimuth, 90 degrees in elevation. The tail turret is more restricted in movement, but it has a 20-millimeter cannon in addition to the twin 50s the others carry. But the big thing about the 29's armament is the fact that the gunners don't touch the guns. The guns are controlled remotely from special sights, and any gunner can fire almost any turret. For example, one side gunner might have control of 2 turrets. firing 4 caliber 50s at his target.
In the first effective raid in this campaign, on a single night, March 9, 1945, the U.S. Army Air Force burned to death 100,000 Tokyo men, women, and children and left 1 million homeless. This 100,000 number is probably low, claims researcher Mark Selden, considering the inferno consumed a geographic area of almost 16 square miles containing an estimated 1.5 million people. By July 1945, the U.S. had destroyed by incendiary bombing all but 5 Japanese cities. The destruction was remarkable, ranging from 50 to 60% of the urban area destroyed in cities including Kobe, Yokohama, and Tokyo, to 60 to 88% in 17 cities, to 98.6% of Toyama.
So we're coming to the finish line, we're leading in the polls, and we're doing well.
In Tokyo that night, nature had reinforced man's handiwork in the form of Akakaze, the red wind that swept with hurricane force across the Tokyo plain and propelled firestorms across the city with terrifying speed and intensity. The wind drove temperatures up to 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, creating superheated vapors that advanced ahead of the flames, killing or incapacitating their victims. The U.S. Strategic Bombing Survey, which had only been created months earlier, concluded probably more persons lost their lives by fire at Tokyo in a 6-hour period than at any time in the history of man. People died from extreme heat, from oxygen deficiency, from carbon monoxide asphyxiation, from being trampled beneath the feet of stampeding crowds, and from drowning. The largest number of victims were the most vulnerable, women, children, and the elderly. U.S. forces were always fighting towards the Marianas, the closest set of islands to the Japanese mainland, to get close enough to conduct the bombing. By occupying these islands, about 1,500 miles from the Japanese homeland, the B-29, with about a 5,500-mile range depending upon its load, could most effectively bomb Japan. The primary objective of this bombing campaign, where the U.S. threw the full force of its air power against a weakened but still deadly Japan, was to set the conditions for a U.S. troop invasion of the mainland in late 1945. Remember, the U.S. completely expected a land invasion would be required, just like required to defeat Germany. Before I forget, I have quite an interesting story about how and why this movie about the air campaign called The Last Bomb was made, and I'll share it towards the end. But first, let's begin by looking at 2 U.S. War Department maps to set the stage for this. The first shows Japanese expansion, the second Japanese implosion. The first serrated line is the intended Japanese expansion in the short term. They never got there. This red line shows their perimeter, their farthest advance, which was July 1942. This blue line shows the Japanese perimeter in November 1941. These smaller serrated blue lines show Japanese expansion prior to the war, many in the 1800s. And finally, this line represents Japan's perimeter in both 1868 and after their World War II surrender. The second map shows the U.S. conquest and Japanese implosion. This red line represents the farthest Japanese perimeter. This red line, 29 Super Fortress, was the U.S.'s technological solution to this difficult strategic problem of achieving unconditional surrender with a minimum of U.S. casualties. To illustrate the importance of air power in this fight, Army Air Force General Henry Hap Arnold, who was the Joint Chiefs of Staff Service Chief, foresaw the B-29 as the one weapon that could exert pressure against Japan. He had been given command of a newly created unit in early 1944, the 20th U.S. Army Air Force. Incredibly, the 20th Air Force was subordinate to the JCS, so Arnold didn't answer to Pacific Theater or area commanders, but instead was co-equal with the other service chiefs. Underneath the 20th, Arnold created the 20th and 21st Bomber Commands. The 21st was to be the primary command to bomb Japan. This increased pressure on Arnold to make the B-29 bombing of Japan work, not just for mission purposes and to soften Japan for the armed forces invasion, but for service reasons. You see, the Army and Navy was pining to get control of the B-29s. Even France asked for several. To keep them, Hap would have to show results. The first B-29 used against Japan was from China, also attacking Japanese units in Burma, Singapore, Thailand, and other targets. In late 1943, early 1944, the U.S. Army Air Force began building airfields in Chengdu, China. U.S. Army General and later Ambassador Henry Byrode was at this time a young Army engineering officer and was sent to China to oversee the construction of the airstrips. He says in a verbal interview, quote, "The Generalissimo, Chinkashek, drafted the workforce, coolies. They would arrive there in groups, walking as far as 100 miles away, all organized in groups with their own cook, etc. We had 496,000 Chinese laborers on that job. We located the big fields along rivers as a source of rock, and they would carry the rock on their shoulders and heads up to 7 miles in each direction, break the rock by hand. We had no concrete, no cement in China. We had no asphalt. We had to build these runways for the biggest planes any of us had ever seen. The runways were 24 inches thick with crushed rock, and then clay and sand on top. It was almost unbelievable what was accomplished. 90 days after we started that project, the first B-29 came in. If we had had all the equipment America ever invented, I don't think we could have done it that fast. While I was originally an aviation engineer, we had designed all kinds of airborne engineering equipment. Little bulldozers, little rollers, everything that could be airborne. We were making the rollers, as an example, out of concrete. 5-ton rollers took 500 people to pull. 10-ton rollers, for some other reason, we pulled with 750 people. But as the B-29s came in, they brought little dollies to pull their airplanes around. And one of my young lieutenants got enthusiastic, and he used one of these to pull a roller all night. The next day, the Chinese wouldn't pull the big rollers. So, no more of that. We finally finished the fields, and General Kurt LeMay came in to command the bombing raids on Tokyo. He was extremely disappointed with the airfields, and I couldn't blame him because they were dusty. Kurt LeMay had been running 100 bomber missions over Europe, and of course, he wanted to run that kind of mission over Tokyo. But the dust was so bad, they couldn't take off that fast, and we had to fly in all the gasoline. So the planes couldn't circle overhead waiting for all of them to get off the ground and into formation. So, in utter disgust, he decided he had to fly single mission B-29s over Tokyo, one plane at a time, a minute or two in between takeoffs. It, of course, gave a psychological boost for our troops everywhere around the world. We were hitting Tokyo, and we did some damage, but not a great deal because the payload was not very great, end quote. Bombing attacks from Chengdu upon Japan began in August 1944, and even though LeMay's results were mixed, General Hap Arnold was noticing that LeMay was getting some results under austere circumstances, particularly in a December 18, 1944 raid where LeMay tried a new tactic. LeMay sent a fleet of B-29s against the Japanese at Hankow, China, but this time the B-29s much lower and carried incendiary versus high explosive bombs. The attack was devastatingly effective against the Japanese. LeMay now seemed to have a new tactic he could use, but to effectively bomb Japan, U.S. forces would need to be closer to the Japanese mainland, and the Marianas were the answer. The fight to capture the Marianas was bloody. The Marines especially paid a heavy price. You see, the Japanese understood the dangers of American B-29s operating from
Lemonade, pet, insurance. 3 words you've probably never heard used together. A drink, your best.
the Marianas. Lieutenant General Yoshitsugu Saito, who commanded the Japanese defenders of Saipan, wrote regarding the defense of the Marianas, the fate of the empire will be decided in this one action. Japanese stiff, resistance in the Marianas, and later at Iwo Jima was almost certainly due in part to this realization. The Lieutenant General, wounded by shrapnel, committed ritual suicide in a cave at dawn on 10 July 1944, with his adjutant shooting him in the head after he had disemboweled himself. He was given a funeral with military honors by his American counterpart, U.S. General Holland Smith. On June 24, 1944, even before the fighting had ceased in the Marianas, the first B-29 airfield was under construction. On 12 October 1944, General Haywood Hansel, commander of the 21st on Saipan. Hansel, just like LeMay, was a veteran of daylight precision bombing over France in 1942 with B-17 and B-24 heavy bombers. By November, the 21st Bomber Command was ready for its first attack. The attacks were designed to dismantle the Japanese military, economic, and industrial systems and undermine the Japanese people to break their will to fight. Military theorists have written since literature on war began that there is only one way to win war, and that is to break the enemy's will to fight. When you don't, as evidenced in Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan, the results are either a friendly force to allow or defeat. The first priority for attack was against the Japanese aircraft industry with precision bombing. Second was urban industrial areas that supported the war industry because this industry was nested in suburban areas. The third was an aerial mining campaign against mile-per-hour tailwind that pushed troops 445 miles per hour over the ground, much too fast for accurate bombing. In fact, the first 7 bombing attempts against this plan over several months were failures. Overall, the next 22 bombing missions through March on Japan were largely ineffective. Weather was the most significant problem for the operation. At bombing altitude of 30,000 to 180 but more exposure to flak and enemy aircraft. Therefore, attacks would be at night for better defense, although not all were, particularly as Japan depleted its fighter aircraft force. Formation flying didn't work well at night, so planes would fly alone. Worried about friendly fire and to reduce fuel consumption and increase the bomb load, LeMay ordered the offloading of guns, ammunition, and gunners. These new tactics were so radical that most crews thought they might die on the mission. Finally, most of the munitions would be incendiary, not high explosive.
The main component of the M69 bomb, a cheesecloth sock containing specially processed jellied gasoline. When ignited, the gel filling becomes a clinging fiery mass spreading more than a yard in diameter. It burns at approximately 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes. The bomb was developed by the National Defense Research Council in collaboration with the Chemical Warfare Service. In a demonstration, it is fired electrically from the ground against a wall. For airdrops, the M69 is assembled in groups of 38. The E-23 adapter is used in forming 500-pound aimable clusters carried by planes equipped to handle this size bomb. On the assembly line at Mays Landing, New Jersey, the bombs are secured inside the cylindrical halves of the cluster wall. The bomb is held together by 9 steel straps attached to release buckles, which are broken open by time fuses within the pin assembly. The clusters are given high and low altitude tests at Edgewood Arsenal with a B-25 loading the 500 pounders.
When they make kibble at some of the temperatures that they do, the quality of the ingredients almost doesn't even...
The drop of the jellied gasoline bomb. The M69 saw extensive use in the March fire raids on Tokyo and Nagoya.
Here is an abbreviated attack sequence to show you how attacks were planned and conducted.
It began about 12 hours ago in the war room at Guam. with General LeMay and his staff receiving a report on tomorrow's weather in Japan. Osaka and everything west is reported completely socked in. How will the general solve that one? The old man considers every vital factor and makes his decision. Now it's a question of target selection. First priority in the Tokyo area is number 573. Intelligence informs the general that 573 is already three-quarters destroyed. At the moment, number 574, still untouched, would seem more important. Operations checks the tactical plan for 574. General LeMay orders the required changes, okays the target, and commits all executive details to his staff. 1,000 hours of research. Collated facts and figures have been distilled into Tactical Plan 574.
Aircraft will assemble as brief with 3 groups of P-51s for escort. Smoke markers at 1-minute intervals will be dropped by lead planes to expedite departure from assembly point. One squadron each wing will carry M47 incendiary clusters. Altitude of attack, 12,000 feet. Planes of 314th Wing will carry capacity fuel loads of approximately 7,300 gallons per plane. Calibrated airspeed of 210 miles per hour will be flown by all aircraft on bombing run. Radar landfall 3450 north and 140 east will be the same for all planes to report a good land-water contrast checkpoint. The Navy is requested to furnish the following facilities for air-sea rescue purposes. 3 surface vessels to proceed to positions X. 4 submarines assigned to lifeguard duties at positions Y. 2 Dumbos to orbit at station C. 4 B-29s will orbit as super Dumbos at the following positions.
Each section of the plan is double-checked. To supervise certain aspects of planning, Lieutenant Colonel Catton, a former lead crew pilot, was recently brought over to staff as project officer. Takeoff time is flashed to the controller. Here in the control room, status panels and a mission board are maintained to show at a glance the countless up-to-the-minute details of all daily operations. Prior to takeoff, each mission is set up on the board to afford a visual progress of the flight, from takeoff to target and return. Colored yarns, one for each wing, are laid out to indicate the flight lines, which pass close to Iwo Jima, the halfway point, and proceed as specified in the field order to the proper target. Other symbols are used to mark air-sea rescue positions. A timetable of statistics for each wing is planned and flown as recorded from hourly reports on the status panel, beginning with takeoff time.
Interestingly, a previous Army Air Corps officer had written on the vulnerability of Japan to incendiaries in his 1937 study, Japan as an Objective for Air Attack. Captain Thomas D. White, who later became Chief of Staff of the Air Force in the 1950s, wrote, large sections of Japanese cities are built of flimsy and highly flammable materials. The earthquake disaster of 1924 bears witness to the fearful destruction that may be inflicted by incendiary bombs. Even Japanese Admiral Yamamoto had pointed out this vulnerability as early as 1939. Cities made of wood and paper would burn easily. The Army talks big, but if war comes and there were large-scale air raids, there is no telling what would happen. Japanese firefighting equipment was primitive and inadequate for the disaster that was about to befall. Also, the nature of targets in Japan was different than those in Germany. Japanese industry, more widely dispersed and subcontracted within Japanese cities, meshed within them, was less vulnerable to precision attack. On the night of 9 March 1945, LeMay transitioned to the second phase of the B-29 bombing campaign from the Marianas. The first 5 months of the bombing had been to hone procedures would become more effective. With those now in place, it was time for execution. The attack on Tokyo that night was dubbed Operation Meeting House. LeMay chose a small area of Tokyo, a 3-by-4 square mile area that housed an estimated 750,000 people. American intelligence had determined correctly that a high concentration of small factors that made up Japan's cottage industry production capability were in the specific area of Tokyo. With the target selected, the airplanes loaded, and the cruise brief, the first B-29 lifted off from Guam's North Field just after 5:30 on the afternoon of March 1945. That first B-29 was followed by the remainder of the force taking off from Guam, Saipan, and Tinian at 15-second intervals, all bound for Tokyo. In total, 325 Superfortresses took off to fly the 1,500 miles to Tokyo. Lead crews firebombed an X in the middle of the 10-square-mile target area, and the rest of the Armada followed, dropping 1,665 tons of incendiaries. Jelly gasoline bombs rained down on Tokyo for 3 hours, and by 3 a.m. a firestorm of immense proportions was sweeping across the city. 100,000 were consumed by fire, spontaneously combusted, died inhaling heated air, asphyxiated, or were trampled to death in the panic. Glass liquefied and was blown into the air, where it rained down and embedded in scalps like molten lava. Some people ran for the Futabas, for its massive swimming pool, and the next day thousands lay dead in and around it, having been boiled. The fire claimed nearly 16 square miles of the city. The U.S. Strategic Bombing Survey wrote it was the greatest disaster ever visited upon any city. Post-attack analysis showed Tokyo's ability to produce war material, or any material, had been cut in half. Around 90 U.S. airmen were missing after the raid, and 14 B-29s never returned, either due to enemy fire or accident. The 21st Air Force followed the Tokyo attack with raids on Japan's largest cities. Nagoya 2 days later, 2 square miles destroyed. Osaka, 8 square miles destroyed. Kobe, 3 square miles destroyed. And Nagoya again, 3 square miles destroyed. After all 5 raids were completed, the Air Force had destroyed 31.9 square miles of the 4 largest Japanese cities. In just 5 missions, the Air Force had inflicted destruction equal to 41% of the total destruction of German cities over the course of the war. And this had been accomplished with less than 1% of the total bomb tonnage dropped on Germany. During this entire 4-city campaign, 22 bombers were lost. The campaign took on a momentum of its own as cities with industrial production were selected. Later in the campaign, when the bombers were headed home, the fighter escorts were no longer needed, given the virtual absence of a threat from the Japanese Air Force, and the fighters conducted strafing operations to destroy targets.
marshalling yards, swamp. As they let down with engines out, blowing gas, or beat up by flak and fighters. In 3 months, nearly 2,000 crippled or gas-shy B-29s havened at Iwo. You can understand why those 4 fanboys blessed those Marines, and even named their planes after them. The lucky ones are fueled and depart for home bases in an hour. But Iwo still has its hazards. Weather can turn this station into a hopeless daymare. Fog and quick overcast often blacks out the airstrip during these crucial periods. That means orders to bail out. Our bomber staggers back to Iwo, only to flatten out at the last heartbreaking second. By some miracle, the whole crew got away from their stations to safety before 2,000 gallons of flaming gas enveloped them.
This is a partial distance bomb with the U.S. equivalent city in size at that time. Or comes through this fact. The Japanese will to fight was not broken after this almost unfathomable, horrific, incendiary destruction of their cities. An atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima on 6th August, and the Japanese continued to fight. 3 days later, a second bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. The Japanese emperor then decided to surrender, but a group of high-level Japanese leaders desired to sabotage his recording to the Japanese people and desired to fight on. The lesson is this: war is horrific because the only way to win is to break the enemy's will to fight, and that is very hard against a determined enemy and causes almost unimaginable pain and suffering. U.S. Secretary of Defense during the Vietnam War worked for LeMay in World War II, and in the primary fog of war, Captain America, LeMay said, if we'd lost the war, we'd all have been prosecuted as war criminals. And I think he's right. He, and I'd say I, were behaving as war criminals. LeMay recognized that what he was doing would be thought immoral if his side had lost. Well, what makes it immoral if you lose, and not make it immoral if you win? Unquote. Two final points. Operation Downfall, the U.S. invasion of Japan, was planned for around 1 November 1945. The in late July 1945 that this operation would cost between 1.7 to 4 million U.S. and 5 to 10 million Japanese dead. Had you been a military planner at this time suggested, no, I don't think we should conduct an incendiary campaign or drop atomic bombs. It's just too inhumane. You probably would have been met with a response such as, okay, so you're suggesting we stop and potentially sacrifice 1.7 to 4 million U.S. servicemen with a land invasion so we can be more humane towards the Japanese who started the war, by the way. Is that what you're suggesting? By the end of the B-29 bombing campaign over the next several months, 66 cities with a pre-bombing population of 21 million people lay in ruins. The B-29s had also dropped mines on harbors and airfields, disrupting and destroying over 1 million tons of Japanese shipping. According to Japanese records, the aerial mining campaign accounted for 63% of all Japanese shipping losses during the final half year of the war. Over 600 production factories and thousands of small contractor operations in the cities were destroyed. About 30% of the Japanese were homeless and probably about 330,000 killed. The U.S. suffered the loss of 485 B-29s and 212 fighters, with 3,041 crew missing or killed. As you know, at this time, the atomic bomb was ready for employment, and B-29s were launched from Tinian Island and dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki on 6 and 9 August, ending the war. While the incendiary campaign and 2 atomic bombs brought horrific destruction, they had served a purpose: ending the war and making unnecessary a land invasion, which would have cost millions of American and Japanese. Ironically, in 1964, the Japanese government awarded Lemay the first-class Order of Merit of the Grand Cordon of the Rising Sun for his assistance with Japan's air defense program. I believe this is the highest award given to any foreigner. If you recall, I promised you an interesting story about the movie The Last Bomb. If you go on YouTube and see some of these old films made by the War Department and the different services, you'll see an interesting anomaly. For example, you may see that one recaps the entire war and you scratch your head, hey, that left out the Battle of Midway. Yeah, that's because it's an Army film. There was inter-service rivalry. Every service wanted to show their contribution to the war. That's understandable, I get it. During this time of this incendiary campaign, the Navy had just made a full-color film, which the jealous air staff found not only impressive, but quite breathtaking. So to trumpet this bombing campaign, the air staff brought to the Marianas a noted filmmaker and crew to create a full-color film of the bombing.